Hi guys, so this is the long-awaited GATERON GT60 Pro. GATERON's newly released hallway keyboard module that is said to be incredibly feature-packed, and it is said to be one of the fastest hallway keyboards currently. We will get those claims soon enough, but first let's hear how it sounds. So yeah, pretty neat, I think. Building this board, if you can even call it building, was really simple. It comes as a pre-assembled module that you can then screw into a case, put in some switches and keycaps. However, I have to warn that the stabilizers without any extra lubing will be insanely rattly, since they are pretty much bone dry at first. Luckily, the stabs are otherwise like really well made, and after a full disassembly and regular lube work, they are honestly one of the best sounding and feeling stabs that I've tried. Other than that, they mentioned the PCB is waterproof, which means that you don't have to worry about it getting fried after spilling some beverages on there. And yeah, when I disassembled the module to lube the stabs properly, I did notice quite a thick coating on the PCB, which I think is great. Just don't sink in the USB port as well, because that is not waterproof. Yeah, it also has a nice quality foam between the PCB and the plate to provide a more muted typing experience. So overall, I think the module is built really well. You can lube the stabs okayish with just a paintbrush and lube from like outside in, but to lube them properly, you just have to unscrew some screws and you get a proper access and a lot easier lubing experience. And you also get a more thorough lubing, which I prefer. My build is quite simple. It has a acrylic tofu redux with the brass weight, GATERON Jade Rubies and PB Defense Lucy keycaps and the case foam. Very clean looking keyboard, and I think the acrylic redux sounds better than the aluminum one. Then for the actual performance. They claim quite high scan rates for this keyboard that honestly I don't think would even show in the keyboard inspector tool, and with the latest firmware it seems to have at least true 8K polling, which is good. I tested the latency of this with my XLAT solenoid rig, and as it turns out the latency for key presses with 0.1mm actuation was around 0.8 milliseconds, which is really good, but it loses slightly to Wooting ADHE, Melgeek Mate 68 Pro and the Venom 60HE. The difference is however so tiny that I don't really believe it to affect any real use in any way. The biggest difference that you can feel comes from the actuation distances, how accurate they feel and how well stuff like rapid trigger is implemented. And so far I have to say everything seems really nice here. For the actuation you can set it really precisely, and same goes for the rapid trigger. There seems to be a really nice amount of customizability in the WebDriver, and the UI seems to be quite intuitive. They also advertise their switch tuning feature that uses some algorithm that at least fine-tunes the travel distance of the switches based on what you select. It might do something else, but I can't possibly know what else is here. I also can't really tell if this makes a meaningful difference, but at least it doesn't harm the performance in any way. But yeah, all in all, I really like this keyboard module. The one thing they could do to really make it a drop into a case experience would be a better factory lubing for the stabs, but other than that, it is great and well worth the price. They also just announced that this is now available on Amazon, which means the availability is gonna be insanely good for this keyboard kit. But yeah, that is all for this one. Thanks for watching and goodbye.